What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Study Hall here on UFSU University. My name's Tam. I'm joined by
Tyler.
What Study Hall is for the unenrolled is we take a bunch of your guys' UFS topics as well as some of our own, and we sit down and we discuss them for your amusement, entertainment, and knowledge. If you like that, go out to patreon.com/UFS University. Throw us a couple bucks. We have Soul Calibur coming out soon, and we're going to be recording and uploading, launching, debuting the cram sessions for Soul Calibur. I'm going to be in most of them, if not all of them. Tyler, I'm demanding to be in a couple of them.
Yep.
It's going to be super fun. If you don't want to support us that way, that's totally chill. Just doing cool YouTube stuff, like, share, subscribe, share in the local play groups, hit the notification bell, and then lastly, we have a TCG player, and at time of recording, we just hit level 3. Woo! So we would love for you to go out and support us out on TCG player. Help us buy more products to give you more products. So with that, my last topic of the day, and we don't necessarily need this, but if we'll have it just in case.
Okay.
My last topic of the day is for all my new kids out there. Tyler, you're one of the faculty here at UFSU University.
Yes, I am.
The way that I'm trying to structure this show now in order to change it ever so slightly is we've got current event topics, we've got topics for veteran players, we've got topics for new players. This new player-centric topic is, should new kids play bad checks? And for bad checks, statistically, most attacks in the game check a 3 in the bottom right corner. 3 over here. Should people who are new to the game play 1s and 2s? I'd love to hear your opinion.
So, I'm going to say no.
Ooh.
For the very beginning. I want to say that the amount of time before you're allowed to play bad checks might be shorter than you think. I think, though...
Give me a timeline right now. Shot out of the cannon. You can change your answer later. It's okay.
I think if you are competent enough to know what you're putting into your deck, then you can start putting in 2 checks. So,
not 1 checks?
1 check's also. Bad checks.
Bad checks.
So
we'll label them as bad checks.
If you have a buddy that brought you into the game, and you're like, hey, build me a deck, because you taught me how to play this, and it's interesting, and I like it. So build me a deck, and I'll play that. They should not have any 2s or 1s in that deck. They need to learn how to pass safety 3s first.
I agree.
And then, after they get into it a little bit, if
What's
you...
a little bit? Give me a timeline.
if they're like, man, I'm really getting into this game, what characters can I build that's not this guy that you gave me? And then they start looking, and they decide to put 2s in their deck, maybe you let them. Maybe you back up and be like, yeah, that's fine. You can do that. If you keep building their deck, though, I think you should keep it at 3s, unless you're like, they're getting a lot better at the game. I can see that they're understanding what they're doing. Then we can put 2s in their deck.
I'm demanding that you give me a number of days. Give me a number of weeks. Give me a number of months. How many eons? How many centuries?
So
I think I might have went backwards on that last one.
I think it's different for every person, though. It's like Mark Tyner.
Mm-hmm.
I think after a week, he could have had 2 checks in his deck. No problem at all.
Okay.
I saw him pick up this game quick.
Incredibly fast.
Yeah, and he's very good at this game.
Mm-hmm.
He understood immediately how to play.
Totally.
Me, however,
yeah,
I probably didn't need 2s in my deck for a while because I didn't understand why necessarily how I was supposed to be playing out my turns and why it mattered.
So I feel the same way, but I'm going to give an actual date. I say if you are playing consistently, give it a month and then learn the game for a month's time. If you went to a local tournament and played 4 rounds, that's 4 hours in a weekend. Do that 4, 5, 6 times. So after 30 hours, start putting 1s and 2s in your deck.
Sure.
I think after playing the game for 30 hours, getting that many reps in, you should be able to start experimenting with these power cards.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have time to do the math beforehand, and I don't mind doing it as we talk. But the last event that we just went to, I want to see how many 1s and 2s that were played, mainboarded, sideboarded, otherwise, because I think 1s and 2s win games. Like, they just do. We talk about missile launcher. We talk about, like, like all of these crazy stats, and like it just wins games.
I mean, there's a reason why they're ones and twos, because they got that power behind them.
How do you successfully play ones and twos?
You be conscious of the fact that you have the possibility to check a 2 or a 1. So, for instance, my spectator then playing upstairs, I know that if I build 3 foundations, I can play any attack that I want no matter what. Because the highest is a 6, and the lowest check I'm going to get is a 3. So, I have the forethought to be like, well, I have these 6s in my hand. I could totally go in, no problem at all.
So I did a very quick count, and it looks like we have 15 ones and twos in top 8
All
from the last PTC alone.
Okay.
That's kind of not that many, actually. Like, obviously, 1, 2, 3 of the decks did not. No, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the decks, half of the decks did not play ones and twos.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's a reason that the other 4 did.
Right. They're power cards.
And so you were saying, in order to play ones and twos correctly, how do you build?
You review. So like I know that if my opening hand has 3 foundations, I'm okay. I would like it to have more, and I would probably review to get more just so I'm ahead. But if I review and draw 3 attacks and 3 foundations, which has totally happened, 4 attacks, 2 foundations, we'll say, I'm like, well, I now have to build next turn so that I can be safe for the rest of the game.
In addition to that, you should also look at the difficulty of the cards, because I've seen people all the time keep hands of 4 foundations, and the 4 foundations are all 2s.
Sure.
That says that you actually built 2 asterisks. You built 2 maybe. If you're going first on a 2, on a 3, that probably happened.
Mm-hmm.
And even at that point, it could be on a 2, on a 3, you check a 2 and you fail.
Right.
Like, it's even bigger. If you want to play ones and twos and you want to get that experimentation, the first thing you do is you pick up an evil deck.
Yeah.
Because they have a bunch of spam. They've got a bunch
right.
of good, relevant spam. So you can safely build, feel the power of these cards, and slowly but surely move over to these other checks that exist. Or these other symbols that don't quite have the security that the evil symbol does when checking bad.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really cool, because like the whole point of the evil symbol is bad checks. It like makes your opponent check bad,
Right,
but
sure.
you also check bad.
Okay.
Right? And I think that's a really cool design. Like I bitch about the evil symbol all the time, but like
they're very strong.
They're very strong. But the point is, we're both checking like shit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, unless you're the Akuma that won this BTC.
Correct.
I guess he had 2s in his deck.
He had a singular
Okay.
2 mainboarded and 1 in his sideboard.
Right.
But the thing about building when you're playing ones and twos is how many of these foundations can I effectively, safely guarantee that I build on turn 1, turn 2? Because those are the 2 most important build turns of the game. You probably shouldn't be attacking turn 2 asterisks. Obviously, there's an asterisk. Every situation is different. I don't need to get into that. The point of this, and I think we might actually be able to end it here. I think this is just like a really informative show. Is there anything else you want to talk about? New players, bad checks. What's something they shouldn't do when it comes to bad checks?
They don't need to put necessarily 4 of them in the deck. I think usually 3 can do it, maybe 2.
Yeah. 100%.
Like Coffee Samba, I think a lot of the time can be a 2 of.
The only person that was playing 4 2 checks was Jeddah, and he was playing 2 of his own ultra rare that says draw 2 cards.
Right. Like there's definitely situations where it could be more.
But everybody else was not playing. Or I'm sorry, Jet also played 4 missile launchers because it's his ultra rare.
But that's a deck that like just win it.
Yeah, totally.
So like you don't always need to play more. Then that can help sort of mitigate any damage that you feel from it. I think loading a whole bunch into your deck isn't a good thing. So like if you're only checking 2s and 1s, I think you're gonna have a very bad time because it's gonna slow you down a bunch, a lot more than you probably think.
Totally.
Like that one number can mean all the difference.
Here is what I'd suggest for my new players. If you want to start experimenting with 1s and 2s, actually do some homework. When you're playing the game, mark down in your game, like pick actual pen and pad paper, and mark down how many times you check a 1, how many times you check a 2, and how many times it costs you the game, and how many times that card wins you the game. So don't just look at it as like a negative factor. Look at it as a positive factor.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a lot more negative marks on the pages than positive ones because we never get to keep track of, hey, I passed that check, or marking down every time you pass a card doesn't make any sense. But, hey, I'm playing this 2 check. I'm playing missile launcher. Did it win me the game? Yes, it won me the game.
Right.
If I didn't have missile launcher, I lost this game. Or if I didn't have missile launcher, I didn't win this game this turn. Mark that down. Write it as a positive. And then keep track of it in every game. And then maybe you're not playing enough. Maybe you're playing too many.
Sure.
And this is where you get to have hard evidence written down in a small notepad. You can go to Walgreens and get a pocket-sized, non-spiraled notebook to stick in your back pocket and just keep track of life and keep track of notes and keep track of UFS thoughts on that. And that's a way that you can have actual hard evidence. You can make your own research so that whenever you comment on this video and tell us how you did, you have actual research to back it up.
Right.
I think that's super important. And it's something that will separate the pros from Joe Blows. That rhymed.
Right. Good job, Tim.
Thank you. Last minute thoughts?
No, just be careful. I think if you're giving somebody a deck, be conscious of the fact that there's 2s and 1s.
And let them know.
Yeah, let them know. Definitely let them know.
So many times that I've been like, hey, what's the lowest check in the deck? And they're like, 1s. I'm like, you should have told me. I wouldn't have built like a madman on turn 1. I played 2 3s.
Right. I think, yeah. And if you tell them and they're like, I have no idea what that even means.
Take the cards from them and tell them to get out of your house.
Right.
You don't get to play anymore. You don't deserve these 2 checks.
Or take them out of the deck.
Yeah, that's another option. Yeah. Flip them over and say they're nutcrackers. Just as good. So with that, thank you very much for watching the podcast, listening if you're on SoundCloud. First time I ever give a shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
If you have any suggestions on topics that we can do, jump on Patreon and leave them there, as well as you leave them in the comments down below. Not sure we'll get to those, but we'd love to hear from you, all the good people. Anything you want to say? Any fun sign outs today?
No, stay on it.
See everybody.